Top 10 Biggest Sellouts in Football. During the last 10 years leading up to the 2022 World Cup in Qatar, corruption has been more and more prevalent. We can see our former footballing heroes turning into greedy ambassadors right before our eyes. With no regards for the migrant workers and human rights violations happening in the Qatari regime, the global superstars fill their own pockets with blood-stained money. Hello, and welcome to our video, Top 10 Biggest Sellouts in Football. In this video, we will display 10 individuals we feel have sold their soul in an attempt to help Qatar better their reputation ahead of the 2022 World Cup. Please like this video and subscribe to our channel. We encourage you to let us know in the comments if you agree with our list. In the number 10 spot, we have chosen the legendary Brazilian right-back Kafu. Born on the 7th of June 1970 in São Paulo, Brazil, he made a name for himself playing for Serie A giants AS Roma and AC Milan. Not to mention his extraordinary career for the Brazilian national team, for whom he featured in 3 World Cup finals. During the 2019 Copa America, it was announced that the Brazilian legend would become the 3rd global Qatar legacy ambassador. Coming in at number 9, we have Javi Hernandez. The former Barcelona and Spanish international player has a well-known relationship with the Qatari regime. After he announced his retirement as a player, he embarked on a career as a manager, starting in the Qatari club Al Sadd. In March 2018, he was announced as the first global Qatar legacy ambassador. Ronald Deboer takes the 8th spot on our list. Deboer has a long-standing relationship with Qatar, having lived in the country for 7 years with his family. He moved to Qatar in 2004 to finish his football career playing for Qatari clubs Al Rayyan and Al Shamal between 2005 to 2008. Deboer has been involved in the Qatari sports washing project since as far back as 2010 and has stated, "The World Cup is a way to deliver important social changes in Qatar. For me, this is the most important aspect of this project, improving the country and leaving a better place for the next generation." Our pick for 7th spot on our list is former Cameroonian international Samuel Eto'o. The 4-time African Player of the Year was announced as the 2nd global Qatar legacy ambassador. Eto'o has previously expressed his excitement for the Qatari World Cup, saying, "Qatar is building something really special, a tournament that players and fans will remember forever. The World Cup is the biggest competition in football, and I think that for the players who have the chance to play in it, there is nothing more beautiful." He has also refused to talk about the deaths of foreign workers, instead shifting the focus towards Qatar's efforts into making progress, whatever that means. Coming in at number 6, we have the Australian football legend Tim Cahill. With 50 goals in 108 appearances for the Australian national team, he is Australia's all-time leading scorer. Cahill has represented his country in 4 World Cup tournaments. He was announced as the 4th global Qatar legacy ambassador in February 2020 and lives in Qatar full-time. For the 5th spot on our list, we have chosen the former Denmark and Manchester United goalkeeper Peter Schmeichel. The former Premier League player has been reluctant to speak about the human rights situation in Qatar ahead of the coming World Cup. He has stated that it is not FIFA's responsibility that 15,000 foreign workers have died during the construction of the stadiums and surrounding infrastructure. By saying things like this, Schmeichel has earned himself a spot among the top 5 biggest sellouts in football. Danish international women's player Nadia Nadeem takes the 4th spot on our list. When she announced on the 1st of April 2022 that she had become an ambassador for the Qatar World Cup, many people thought it was an April Fool's joke. After her decision, she has received criticism from the Danish Football Players Association, stating corruption, the treatment of foreign workers, and the regime's views on homosexuality as reasons for their disapproval. Nadeem and her family fled from war-torn Afghanistan after her father was executed by the Taliban. This makes her an invaluable ally for the Qatari regime, further begging questions as to why she would destroy her reputation in Denmark. Nadeem denied on live TV that she was being paid for her role as an ambassador, which was later disproved by the Danish newspaper BT. The third spot on our list goes to the famously corrupt former FIFA president Sepp Blatter. Sepp Blatter is a Swiss man who led FIFA for 17 years. During Blatter's reign as president of FIFA, corruption ran rampant. He played a big part in awarding both Russia and Qatar the 2018 and 2022 World Cups. In 2015, Blatter was banned from football for 4 years following a corruption scandal which involved a transfer of 2 million Swiss francs between Blatter and Michel Platini. Both Platini and Blatter have recently been cleared of these charges, but we still believe he deserves a spot on this list. Coming in at second place is the current FIFA president, Gianni Infantino. Infantino is a Swiss-Italian who was voted in as FIFA president in 2016. Infantino was implicated in the FIFA corruption scandal in documents released by the 2016 Panama Papers. Infantino has denied all involvement and has stated that he is dismayed at the reports. Infantino is notorious for conducting corruption in broad daylight. The most prominent example of this happened during the opening game of the 2018 World Cup, where Infantino could be seen sitting between the Russian President Vladimir Putin and the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, Mohammed bin Salman Al Saud. Infantino has also been defending the Qatari regime very adamantly, denying human rights violations and even going as far as moving permanently to Qatar with his family. Before we introduce the number one pick in our list, we would like to present our dishonorable mention. The dishonorable mention goes to an entire football team, including some of the biggest stars in the world of football. Paris Saint-Germain is maybe the most prolific sports washing project in the world, along with Manchester City. The team is owned by the Qatar Sports Investments Group and has bought some of the biggest names in football, including Kylian Mbappe, Neymar, and last but not least, they recently shook the world by securing the signature of maybe the greatest player of all time, Leo Messi. As part of the Qatari regime's sports washing project, the entire PSG team have an annual trip to Qatar to promote the country to tourists ahead of the coming World Cup. During these trips, many players are quoted promoting Qatar. We will now showcase some of these quotes. The Argentine international Leandro Paredes said, "It's a beautiful country, very safe, very friendly." Another Argentine international, Angel Di Maria, described Qatar as a wonderful place. French global superstar Kylian Mbappe said, "I hope we will be able to return very soon." We wonder if the thousands of foreign workers who have died during construction of the World Cup would agree with these statements. And finally, we would like to introduce our number one pick in this list. The number one spot on our list of the biggest sellouts in football goes to the global superstar David Beckham. The England international and former Manchester United, Real Madrid, AC Milan, and LA Galaxy player who initially was very critical of the awarding of World Cups to both Russia and Qatar has signed an incredible £150 million deal to become an ambassador for the 2022 Qatar World Cup. In 2011, after England had lost their bid to host the World Cup, Beckham spoke about his suspicion that England has lost their bid due to corruption behind the scenes at FIFA. He stated that it left him with a sick feeling and was quoted saying, "There was obviously something wrong with the system when you look at the investigations since the vote and some of the things that have come out. At the time, you don't suspect it. When people tell you to your face that you have got their vote, you want to believe them. Then the vote happens and, yeah, you start to think, this is a little bit weird." It just felt unfair. The decisions have been made, and whether they can be changed, I've no power over that. We wonder if a £150 million check from the Qatari regime was what prompted Beck's sudden change of heart. The reason why we have placed the former UNICEF ambassador David Beckham on the number one spot is because of the pure greed he displays. Imagine being one of the most famous people in the world, with a reported net worth of over $450 million, and still not being able to avoid selling your soul to the Qatari regime. Beckham has, with this move, tarnished his entire reputation and ruined his legacy forever. So, that concludes our list of the top 10 biggest sellouts in football. Do you agree with our list, or are we missing someone? Please let us know in the comments below. Thank you for watching. Please like this video and subscribe to our channel.